Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are going to be talking about what a source summary is. I've already kind of talked to you in other videos about how we're going to get to that source summary. You've taken a midterm. The midterm was talking about how to put your research into an MLA format. Okay, so we're going to be doing research for our topics, which we did in our Wall of Fame. Let's see where my Wall of Fame is. Okay. So in the Wall of Fame, we're going to be finding some topics. And once we find those topics, we're going to be doing some research. All right. Once we do research, we're going to put some of that information into MLA format in our source summary. And so you might be asking, what in the hell is a source summary? So let me guide you through. So we're going to click on that really quick. All right. If you would like to know any of this information, you can find all of it under pages. The video that you are watching now will be in here, but obviously I can't put a video that doesn't exist, so you don't have anything in this particular example. All right. So that being said, I am very, very particular about the source summaries. I'm so particular that I include a template. All right, and examples. Some of you are in heaven. You are so happy that I finally gave you a fill in the blank. Okay, and I get that, absolutely. And so for many of you, I have a feeling that based on what you've done before, this will be very easy. It'll be very easy because you've already gone through and you found your topic and you've done your research, and now you get to put it in a nice orderly fashion. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Before I show you the template and all this stuff, I'm going to show you a really quick example of what the source summaries are going to look like. So we're going to go to source summary example number 2. Okay. All right. So this is what a source summary looks like. At first you might be going, ay, that's overwhelming. Don't worry. I set you up just almost, it's impossible to get it wrong if you follow the template and you follow all the information, okay? So the first and foremost you're going to notice is the way it's set up, okay? We have the name of the author here, okay? That's going to be you. That's going to be me. This is our class, and then this will be the source summary that you do. So let me get over here and show you source summary number 1 first. Okay, this is another one of our examples. Don't be too confused if it says source summaries 2. We're going to start with source summary 1. I realize that first example says 2, but the reason why I do that is because I really like the way that student continued on using scholarly journals. So we have again, you, me, the class, and then what we're doing, which is going to be source summary number 1. We're going to start out there. All right. Up in the corner here, you're going to see that the author has their last name and the page number. I'm going to show you really quick how to do that. All you have to do is up here. Do you see where if I clicked on it, it automatically shows up? If you don't already have that, up in the corner under the title of your page, you're going to have File, Edit, View, and Insert. I want you to insert a page number, okay? And so you would scroll down under Insert until you get to page numbers, and don't click on it, but hover over it, and you're going to see a little side window pop up, and you're going to see 4 different options, and I want this first one, very simple first one. When you click on that, notice how the mouse pops up behind this one. That one automatically generates, and it generates 1 here, and then the next page it'll automatically do page 2, page 3. When you insert a page number, it does the rest for you, except it doesn't include the last name. So when you first insert your page number, what it's going to do is just give you the number, and it's going to put the mouse right behind the page number. Take your mouse and scroll the cursor until it's right in front of the number, and this is where you are going to type your last name. You type your name and do a space. All right, super easy. So let's try this again, so that way you have it all here. So you have nothing here now. Okay, you're like, how do I put a page number? You want to insert a page number, so go up to the top, all the way over to where you see insert, click on that, and let the menu pull down, and then you just scroll down until you hover over page numbers. That's going to pop up a window. Scroll on over to that first one, click on that. Ta-da! page number. Now make sure you put your last name in front of the number. Okay, oops, I'm going to pretend I'm Smith over here. Ta-da! Okay, it'll look like that. And as you scroll down to the next page, it automatically does it for you. Brilliant, brilliant. You just have to do it the one time. Okay, so I need a page number with your last name up there. I need your name, my name, the class, source summary 1. That's our first one we're doing. If you are working on source summary 2, you would put number 2. But since I'm going through this the first time, I'm assuming you haven't done any yet. Okay, so it'll be source summary 1. Next, you're going to notice that both on this source summary and on this other source summary, I have a bolded title. All right, and notice how source summary is all caps in both of these. Source summary is all caps. Yes, I want source summary in all caps and I want it bolded. Okay, source summary, bolded, and all caps and centered. It's going to be harder with this one because it's a little bit longer, but they're going to be centered. Okay. That being said, once you have your title with the source summary there, what we have here is your topic. You're going to tell me that this is a source summary with colons, and then you're going to give me your topic. Your topic should be your question. So for this particular student, source summary question topic was, why do women kill? All right. And so this student used that as their thesis statement to say, why do women kill? And then she proceeded to do research and talk about it. Okay, so we're just going to stay on the title really quick. This student right here, on theirs, you'll notice this isn't technically a question, but we had talked about this. Their topic is the American fanatic, the toxic relationship of religion and politics. So the question was, what is the toxic relationship between religion and politics? That was their question. They adjusted it a little bit because this is how they wanted to title their paper to make it a thesis statement. And that is absolutely okay. Because when I look at this, I can see that their question is, what is the toxic relationship between religion and politics? Okay, they could have left it at that. We talked about it. This is how they wanted to title it, and it was absolutely okay. For this student, we kept it as why do women kill? Because it kept them focused on what it is they wanted to answer as they were doing research, and that's okay too. Okay, so now that we have the title again, bolded, I want this in all caps with a colon, and then your topic right here. Whether it's source summary 1 or source summary 2, unless you actually change your topic right here doesn't change, right? You don't have to do anything extra special for your next source summary. So say your first source summary, as you go through, maybe your question doesn't quite hit it on the nose. And when you go through your first rough draft, you find that you want to change up your topic, that's okay. But just keep that in mind. It's okay if it changes if you're trying to bring about a more, how do I say this? A more succinct topic you can research, okay? Anyway, so it's okay if it changes a little, but make sure that this is, you just need one for your full source summary. That's it. So just one title for the entire source summary. Okay? All right. With this student, you can see here that, remember we talked about hanging indentions? For the hanging indention here, you only have a hanging indention for this source. You do not do it for anything else except the source itself, okay? And remember how we did that when we highlighted it and we moved the Dorito and we moved the rectangular shape above it. The only thing that has the hanging indention is just the source right here. I want what you write here to be just simple. No tabs, no nothing crazy when it comes to formatting. Just a simple paragraph with no tabs, okay? Make it easy on you. That being said, we have this student who's done some research, and this is the source that she has come up with. A source summary is where you are summarizing your source. Get it? You're summarizing your source. So here's the source, and what the author is doing is summarizing it. So this author tells me that this source is talking about the classification of women serial murderers and how the current classification system doesn't apply to these offenders, right? So this source is giving her this information. She's telling me the what. What is the source? And that's what this is right here. Next, she follows up with the why. Why is she using it? I will be using this source in an attempt to understand about women serial offenders. And she talks about the importance of this source for her topic. Okay, so when we go back to a sample source summary, I want the source, the what, and the why. Okay, this will help you if I show you our summary template. So what you're going to ultimately be doing is filling in the blanks of this template. Your last name, your name, my name, class, assignment, your source, right? So source number one, notice how I had it what do you call it? Hanging indentation on this one, just to kind of give you that rough idea. So the source here, okay, and then what is the source talking about and why are you using it? That's exactly what we have going on over here. She's got her source with the hanging indentation, and then she's talking about the classification of women serial killers and why she's using this source, okay? She does this for all three sources. Your source summary number one will have 3 scholarly journals, okay? And again, we've got a video on how to find scholarly journals, and that's what they do here. So this is her source with her hanging indentation. This is her why, or I'm sorry, this is her what. What is the source about and why she is using it, okay? And again, we have it here. This is our source, hanging indentation, correctly cited. These must be cited correctly. There's a reason why I had you take a midterm on how to cite sources. Okay, there's a reason why I have a video and a huge long description on how we are going to do MLA format and why, so that you can understand why we do it. Okay, so in the other videos when we talked about hanging indentation, the reason why I have it this way is so that when I go back to find that information in your works cited page, I can find it. Okay, so I'm going to scroll through this paper here. This is a research paper here. There we go. Scroll to the end. So when I get to the end of this, sorry, it's going to take me a second, to this research paper, notice how it has it set up where I can see this last name. Isn't it funny how that's exactly how I have you do it in your source summary? If you use this source in your research paper, all you have to do is copy it and then paste it to your paper. Right here. Look, it's right there. Copy and paste it. If it's done correctly in your source summary, you can copy and paste it here, but it has to be done correctly, okay? And you're going to know because I will tell you how incorrect it is. Okay? So, this is how I want your works cited to be. But notice how what I'm doing here is prepping you with your source summary to have everything ready for you when you do your research paper. If you do not use the source, do not put it in your paper. I look for that. I will literally look for this source in your paper. And if it's not in there, I cannot give you credit. I will also look in your paper for your source. And if you don't cite your source at the end, I cannot give you credit. Okay, so that's a huge thing to look for when we're doing works cited page and source summary. Okay, say you change your topic for after source summary 1, your topic changes a little bit. Maybe you're more specific about your question and you do more research. That's when you will change. You can change your topic a little, and that's when if you don't use these sources in your research paper, do not put these in your research paper, okay? Okay, so let me see if I've got everything here. All right, so when we do that source summary, make sure you do the hanging indentation. I do give you a video on that, super easy. I can't remember if I did that here. Remember, we just highlight it, take this over, take the Dorito over, and take the bar on top back. Ta-da, that's how you do a hanging indentation. And again, you only do the source. You don't do your what and your why. Okay, so these are some examples of what your sources are going to look like. You will be doing 2 source summaries with 3 sources each. That means a total of at least 6 sources. Your research paper requires at least 6 sources. You will find tons more. Absolutely, you will find tons more. In fact, your works cited page at the end will probably look like, oh, well, it's going to be a little bit more than this, but I've had some students who've had 2 pages of source summaries, of works cited page. Okay, so again, there's a reason why I have you do the things that you do the way I have you do them. Citing your source correctly is pertinent. It is required. It is absolutely must do it right. Okay? And otherwise, remember we talked about before in our other quizzes, why don't you? If you don't do it, why is it an issue? Because it's plagiarism and you're stealing other people's ideas without the information. Butte hates this. They will kick you out of school. Like, it is a big fat no-no. And as an English instructor, I get the joy of going through all of your research and finding out whether or not you are citing your sources correctly. When you go back and you take a look at how we do that in the pages, how to cite MLA sources, it's super, super easy. Okay. So again, what is a source summary and what I need in a source summary? What I had just told you is all right here. Okay, I give you everything you are going to need, but in a written way, because maybe you're like me and maybe reading helps you again. Okay, so again, your source summaries, together you're going to have 6 different sources for your paper at least. And again, if that first one you do ends up being, you don't use all of them, that's okay. If you don't use the source, do not put it in your paper. But what I'm giving you here is the practice of talking about your source, because in your research paper, you will be talking about your source. One thing to also notice is what I really appreciate about this particular student's source summary is they quote the author that they are going to be using in their research paper. The reason why they quote it and they put it in their source summary is so they can go back to it later when they put it in their paper, in their final paper. Okay, and this being a source summary number 2, they have already gone through source summary number 1. They've decided what they're going to keep. They've decided what they're not going to keep. They know that this is the information they're going to need because the peers went through and said, maybe you need more information, and that's what they did. So in a source summary number 2, you can even throw in quotes. You can throw in quotes in source summary number 1 as well, because maybe you want to go back to that thing, that page, right? See how it says page number 2? You can go back to it and take a look at it. Because this is what he used was a scholarly journal, it has page numbers that he can go back to. The issue here, you're going to notice that it says number 2. That's actually incorrect. I believe it was 22 that he ended up going back to, but for some reason he forgot the 2. So notice the page numbers here don't line up with what he put there. Keep that in mind. This is something we've talked about. I corrected it with him, but pay attention, because if you're going to put page 2 and I go back to this journal and I go to page 2 and I go, where the hell did you find that? It's because they put the wrong page number in. This page numbers that he got this information is 21 through 24, and they missed one of the numbers, okay? So here, when we look at this quote from here, we can see page 19, he got this from page 19 in here. So I can just go to page 19 and find it. And again, over here, page 59 in this quote, right here, page 59, because he has pages 46 through 68. If you put in a quote and I go to that page and I can't find that quote, you're going to have to tell me, where did you get that quote? All right. So make sure you're not just making stuff up and just throwing in numbers. Actually utilize the research that you've done. Make it so that when I go there and I look for this, and I can find this stuff super easy. It's annoying how quickly I can find information with a Trust me. So this doesn't take me long at all. So don't try and fudge it and think that it's going to be a lot of work. It's not a lot of work for me. I find it right away. And if I don't find it right away, it makes me question, where did you get this quote? Okay, so just make sure that you're documenting all of that information while you're doing research. All right. Okay, so if you have any questions, let me know. Again, everything is here, pretty easy to find. I'm going to show you really quick in Pages some of the information that I just covered and where you can find it. It will be in the modules, but you can also go to Pages to find it too. How can I outline my paper? How do I find a scholarly journal? How do I put a source in MLA format? So all of this information is right here and ready for you at any time. You can just click on it and it'll take you right there. And I have videos for those as well. Okay, so you just click on it. It's going to give you everything you could possibly need. The video here is very similar to the one you're watching now. Okay, all right, so good luck, have fun, and I'm excited to see what you come up with.